The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The Nissans in the GTP class have returned home once again. Tucked up in the remote hills of the Okayama Prefecture, Okayama International Circuit is about to be echoing with the chirps and buzzes of the turbos once again. Who will stand atop the podium? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch Round 5 of the iRacing Kamel GT Series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth once again is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes is our director, the Dr. Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, Okayama is a free track here on iRacing, so most of the drivers should be familiar. But for our viewers, what's the skinny on this place?
Joe, the skinny is, it's Okayama. And if you're not familiar with it, then, well, you haven't worked your way up through the license classes yet in iRacing, for the roadside anyway. And this course was opened in 1990 as a private racetrack for the wealthy. It soon hosted its first race staged by veteran British drivers, but it also hosted a couple of Formula One events in 94 and 95, and you know what? Both of those races were won by the great Michael Schumacher. Now, what do we have out there on circuit? Well, it's 2.314 miles, 11 turns. This is a 30-minute race today. The best way, though, to take a look at this track, get a feel for it, is on board with the GSRC Kamel GT.
All right, we've got Clayton McLeod in the GSRC Nissan, so let's do a lap around Okayama. Turn 1 is going to be a medium-speed corner, but it's still a great passing opportunity. However, the track switches direction shortly after, meaning some drivers may fight back into the following bend. Williams is a tough off-camber sweeper, and you can see drivers will be fighting understeer like mad. The Moss S is going to make any side-by-side racing pretty sketchy, and then you're immediately plunged into Atwood. The exit of this corner winds uphill, always curving. Expect the turbo lag to cause a spin or two. Now we're onto the backstretch, which is the longest straight of the track. It culminates into the hairpin, making this an extremely popular place to overtake. You'll notice there's a lot of banking through here, though. Anyone who can hang around the outside will set themselves up to defend into revolver. Granted, I'd try to get single file or else you'll be losing lots of time. Piper provides disturbingly little runoff to the outside, so try not to slide wide out of here. Then it's a short burst down to Redmond. Sneak attacks can sometimes be possible, and you can make a pass up the inside, but this corner and Hobbs create a back-to-back hairpin combo. It's frustrating and slow. At the top of the hill, once again, careful with the throttle so that the car doesn't whip around on you. Mike Knight goes by in a surprisingly fast flash. Then you're setting up for the final corner. This is critical that you focus on getting a run out of here, or else you'll be susceptible into turn 1. Hopefully you kept it together and have now finished a lap around Okayama. So it should give you an idea of what it's like around through the hills of Okayama. Now, Sean, this is kind of a love it or hate it track, it seems, among most drivers. But one thing it does do well is it seems to offer a few passing opportunities throughout. Where do you think the drivers are most likely to be trying to overtake someone?
I think most likely the very first turn is where you'll get it done today. That's probably the very best opportunity. You've got that long straight that sets up the first turn. A couple different lines through there. We'll see it happen, wheel-to-wheel racing. I think Atwood, the Atwood, I don't want to call it a hairpin, but let's call it like a double apex turn there. There's a really good opportunity there in the Atwood curve to get the power down out of there. So we'll see. Now the hairpin, you know what? You might find good opportunity there if you're careful. That's going to usually be outbraking somebody and looking for your opportunity inside there. We'll see. And then maybe even in Redmond, we'll see a little bit of action heading into that turn. There's always a battle there, setting yourself up for that tight left-hander. Very, very tough little sequence there through Redmond and Hobbs. Make your way through the last couple of turns on this circuit.
Well, we'll have to watch and see as qualifying is working its way through. About 5 minutes left. They do get 2 laps that they are able to put in qualifying in this 7-minute session, and they get no more than that. A little bit of a small GTO field today compared to the Nissans. About 4 of those Audis are out there. You can see Keith Ritchie currently leading the timing sheets in the Nissan. It's going to be a little stiffer competition for these guys. And Ritchie is on his second lap right now at a 1:19.3. Let's see if he can improve. He's got 2/10 over Tapani Linuluotto.
Yeah, Tapani out there, of course, right now also. Richie, a big member here in the community, gives a lot of information, shares setups.
He's pulled over. He is not going to improve. He doesn't even bother to cross the line. Interesting. He thinks that he's too far down to really give himself the effort. Now, Tapani is coming around. Can he try to topple Keith Ritchie? It's been a battle between these two lately as the fastest drivers in this GTP class. Can he improve by 2/10 coming up the line? It's going to be very, very tight. Oh, just about a 10th faster, but that is not enough. Who else is still out there trying to improve their time? I see Jamie Hall sitting in 7th, is about to finish his second lap. He's the next highest up that can do something. Comes up to Mike Knight corner. Very fast one in this car. Then got to slow it up, get it backed up for a good run to the line from outside of that last corner. 120.2 his current lap. Does he improve? He does, but he moves himself up to 6th. Still going to be on the 3rd row for Jamie Hall.
Andy Purrs right now on his second lap, Joe, in the Audi here, the GTO class, trying to run a better lap than Michel Dijon, who looks like settled for 1 lap.
We ride on board with the GTO driver. As you said, De Jong leading the timing sheets. Kuradine Buafia has yet to put his lap in. He's got 2 minutes left. Should be able to at least get 1. I don't know if he can get 2. As Pears comes around to finish his lap out of that final corner. Let's see what he can do. Can he get on top of De Jong? Looks like he does not improve, unfortunately.
Yeah, not quite there. Nope.
Of our drivers still putting laps in, I see that Tomasz Kozdron also running. Kuradine Buafia going to finish his lap. This is the last of our GTOs to get their 2 laps in, or at least 1 lap in, we should say, for Kuradine. What's the timing sheet's going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, that was his warm-up lap, so he's going to have to hustle around. I don't think he has enough time here, Sean, actually.
Actually, Joe, I think he's already done 2 laps, to be honest with you. I think he may have had an off track or something that caused him not to qualify a lap.
Well, we have 1 other driver still waiting to put his second lap, and 2 of them actually in the GTPs, Thomas Kozdron and John Keith Kozdron, coming to the line now. He's going to be there before John. Oh, and no, he's not. He's giving up on the lap. So Thomas is going to be no higher than 6. What about John Keefe? Keefe admitted he is lacking practice here today. Comes around the final corner. He's currently sitting 19th in this GTP class. What can this Nissan do as he comes to the line? And it looks like he is not going to improve his time. So that is going to be our field. Let's go through our order on the pole. Keith Ritchie once again with a very tight race between himself and Tapani Lenoluoto. Inside of row 2, in 3rd, Arto Iamaki with Bas Slab starting in 4th. Danilo Piazza is going to start the race in 5th today. Tomasz Kozdron will start in 6th, followed by Jamie Hall in 7th. Then it's Pedro Ferreira in 8th, followed by Nicholas Schneider in 9th. Rounding out the top 10, it'll be Yit Tijan.
All right, Philip Blake going to start 11th today. He's followed by Murtal Shaheen in 12th. John Hill 13th today. Nicholas Mukanos 14th. Jimmy Broadbent 15th in row 8 with Clayton McLeod starting 16th. Go to row 9, it's Marco Kika and Dave Peterson 18th. Row 10, John Keefe will start 19th and Tom Van Putt 20th.
Hideki Koivisto will start in 21st with Michael Kopak in 22nd. Paulo M. Chagas rounds out our GTP field with Michel de Jong on pole for the GTOs. Andy Pears will start in 2nd for them. Ben Laughter in 3rd and Kuradine Buafia rounding out the Audis. Remy Lularne did not get a time in. I'm not sure if he's going to be gridding up today. I do not see him out there yet. He might be a DNS unless he gets on the grid soon. Only about 40 seconds or so left for him to get his Nissan out there. Half a pace lap here, Sean, and then we go racing for 30 minutes here for round 5 of the Kamel GT series.
Well, Joe, it will definitely be a scramble to get started. That race down to the first corner will be exciting. Now, obviously, the Nissans will have a big power advantage, but they're going to have to play nice for the Audis to continue on and have their nice little battle between those 4 cars. So, boy, look for it to be really, really hot in turn 1.
Now, usually you talked about, dealing with the traffic, and we just tend to discuss where that's going to happen a lot. With only 4 cars, do you think it'll be much of an issue at all?
Well, when they start coming through, certainly on the back part of the course where you hit the hairpin and revolver, Piper, all through there, it's going to be very tricky.
We'll have to watch and see, hoping for the sake of both classes that they really won't trip over each other too much. Not a super long track, but still plenty of space for them to try and race amongst each other as the roof pace car works its way around Mike Knight. It'll peel off into the pit lane. There it goes. And our leader, Keith Ritchie, will have control of the field through the final corner. He can essentially accelerate whenever he wants, waiting for the green flag. Now he takes off, though. Green flag waves. Tapani Linuluoto keeps him within check. They did get a jump on the second row as Boss Slob looking around the outside to see if he can improve his position. He squeezes down kind of tight on Ardo Yamaki, but it looks like they're through clean in that first corner as it switches back. Everybody now starting to get single file. Let's go back to the GTOs.
And it's allowed them to get off to a great start. Michelle De Jong jumps it early. Up just a little bit on Andy Purrs. Purrs settled in the second. Caradine Boafia just got by Ben Laughter.
Oh, a big incident happened in the GTOs. Jamie Hall went off around the outside. We have a car stuck on the inside. A few almost got into each other, and way in the back, that Leighton House, I believe that is Hideki Koivisto, slammed into the side of Paulo. That was Tomas Cosdron, who drifted to the inside of the corner, losing control. Here we're going to see Hideki Koivisto make this contact on the exit of Atwood. This is coming off the corner. You can see Cosdron there to the inside, and that's the side-by-side contact between the Finn and Paulo Chagas.
Well, they've started to settle things down there just a bit. John Hill just was side-by-side with Tom Van Putt. And I'll tell you what, John still looks like he wants to set him up for a move here early.
So as we look at Hill and Putt, he's dropped back just a little bit, put himself into the clutches of Peterson. Up at the top, Ardo Ihimaki very much on the back of Boss Slob. Slob managed to move himself up from 4th to 3rd on that start. Danilo Piazza, of course, in the mix of these three. Ardo with a great run off of Atwood. He looks to the inside as they head down the backstretch. Can he outbrake him into the hairpin? Boss Slob trying to hold on around the outside. That banking sometimes able to help. And look at this. He's got a nose in still side by side as they go through Revolver. Now into Piper. Slob not giving up, and he denies him that podium spot. Whoa, late braking down to the inside, a surprise attack. They slam doors down into Redmond. It's going to switch back in favor of Boss Slob here up through Hobbs, climbing up to the top of the hill. And once again, Slob using the back and forth nature of this track to deny him, almost squeezing him off track, but getting just a bit of room on the entry into Mike Knight. But already hard racing for this 3rd position.
Right, and let's see, that was lap 2.
27 minutes left to go on the clock indeed. Slob still managing to hold off Ardo Ihimaki as they start lap 3 here. Not missing much in the GTOs. Michel de Jong leading by about 2 seconds over Andy Pears. Laughter about the closest. Actually, Caradine Boafia as well, getting close. So, battle for 2nd in that class.
Yeah, Boafia right now actually has been struggling a little bit. Every now and then he gets the tires off, loses everything he's picked up. So he's working hard right now early in this race. He's got to try and maybe work a little bit smarter and get things a little bit easier for him. There he runs it off again in the dirt, able to keep the car on track though. So tricky there through moss. Getting down, we talked about that being a trouble spot. Hard to pass down there.
Got a bit of a truly train happening for 12th as Nicholas Mukanos leads the way ahead of John Keefe, Jimmy Broadbent, Clayton McLeod, Marco Kika, Tom Van Putt, and John Hill all together in a line.
They've gone and left poor Dave Peterson back there in 19th.
Cloud, having done our lap guide, driving the car, is dropping back a little bit from Jimmy Broadbent, who's hunting John Keefe. He looks to the inside, down into turn 1. Not close enough to try and make that move a serious one. Whoa, big bobble behind them, car off. That is Marco Kika, loses 2 positions in 1 corner. We saw that just a little bit from the back of John Keefe. Let's look at the replay. Looks like Sean just got away from him.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little bit too hard on the brakes there. Could have been, a brake bias issue, possibly. Maybe still trying to dial it in.
Oh, and that's John Hill going off. And I wondered about this corner, Atwood, that curved uphill acceleration. This looks like turbo lag. Oh, and some tense moments as Hill has to work around the outside, and the cars behind come together. That's Paulo M. Chagas, who is now backwards on course, gets run into by Remy Lularn and Hideki Koivisto. Let's watch on board Hideki. Side-by-side action there. As that was a battle for position, John Hill decides to take advantage, and lucky break for John Hill to choose the outside.
And I'm afraid Hideki got the worst of that, Joe. That car is in really, really bad shape. He's nursing it along, trying to get back to his pit. I don't know that it's going to matter, though. It's really, really damaged.
Philip Lake was in a good side-by-side battle for a moment there with Myrtle Shaheen. He has to give that up coming through turn 2 into Williams. See if he comes back at him into Atwood. He's getting very close, dives to the inside very late. Can he get it to turn in? He keeps out of Myrtle Shaheen. Shaheen gives him the space at the apex, but look at that wide line, giving him the better grip up the hill. The draft reels him back in. Myrtle goes defensive down the backstretch. Philip Lake gonna have to work the long way around through the hairpin just behind them. That is the car of Nicholas Mucanos, keeping a watchful eye. These guys managed not to get into each other like the last group we saw. Still side by side coming down through Revolver, now into Piper. And it looks like Lake finally keeps that position. That's one thing I love about this track, Sean, is it really just breeds some great side-by-side racing.
Jimmy Broadbent trying to pull off a move here on John Keefe. Broadbent been very aggressive the last couple of turns.
Understand that Jimmy is a popular streamer here on iRacing. We're getting his view here in the cockpit, as I'm sure many of his viewers are. Looks to the inside of Keefe, who gives him a little bit of space down into turn 1.
Hey, Caradine Buafia had trouble out of Moss heading down the hill. Think we've got it on the replay, Joe. I think he just gets in there a little too hot. The brakes lock up on him. He'll start to slide. You'll watch this here.
Oh, yeah, you'll see. It looks like it started to get away from him. Then he has a weird swerve. Looks like the rear maybe started to come around too much, and by the time he hit the grass, there was no stopping that number 19 Audi. So he has taken a tow. That leaves only 3. The good news for these drivers, unless Caradine gets the car back out, and I don't think he is, as he has exited the sim, these 3 are guaranteed a podium today. Only battle for them is for that second place, is Laughter and Pears still going at it.
Yeah, they are. Now, Laughter's been patient with Pears. I don't think there's any rush. I think these two right now, well, I say that. And Ben makes a move there on up to Pears. Is he going to try and cross him over here coming out? Not right there. No, in fact, loses a little momentum.
Down into the hairpin as we ride on board with Pears. I'm sure he's wishing they were no longer a pair if he could just quietly get to the end.
Oh.
You know what? Jamie Hall has not given up on Pedro Ferreira for that 7th position. He's closing in on him down the backstretch in the GTP class. Gets a good draft, slips to the inside. Pedro does not defend. Maybe he fancies holding on around the outside. Not even that. He's going to let him through.
Thank you very much.
So let's see if Hall can now run down Nicholas Schneider. Excuse me. He's got about 3 seconds to catch up to 6th position. Not any change for our leaders. Keith Ritchie still 2 seconds ahead of Tapani Lenaluoto. Vaslav about 5 seconds back, rounding out the podium, and has been holding Ardo Ihamaki at a distance behind him.
Little surprised we haven't seen more speed out of him, Joe. I just can't understand how the leaders are just getting so, pulling away.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's Arto tends to have some pace, but not today. He is holding on hope for that podium spot if Boss makes any sort of error. Is this lap traffic in front of him? No, that is Boslav that I'm seeing, so that is for position between Arto. That's Danilo Piazza who I'm seeing there. He's making it a train of 3. So, 3rd through 5th staying relatively close.
Now, your leader, Keith Ritchie, has caught Ben Laughter and making his way through now.
This is where it could get interesting, and he's caught him at a bad place. Up through the slow double hairpin of Redmond and Hobbs. No place to go. Is he going to try and duck to the inside? Yes, he does. He's got to make some distance between himself and Tapani. He knows that he was being held up, and Tapani has closed that 4-second gap, now down to 7/10.
Andy Purr is going to get caught in a horrible spot right there.
Tapani's Merc tried to stick its nose in, but he ran out of space at the apex and wisely backed out of it. That cost him a few tenths on Keith Ritchie.
I thought Andy was going to get run over there. I really did.
Oh, I have more faith in Tapani than that. I figured.
Oh, I do too. I didn't look like that was going to end well, but a great job by both drivers working through it.
Now, what is this going to do for the battle for 3rd here? Because Boslav is approaching. I'm pretty sure he should be able to get them before hairpin, at least one of them.
Maybe Ben.
He gets one, and that should put some space between himself. Oh, big slide there from Ardo Ihamaki, getting into the side of Ben Laughter. And Ben Laughter was apologizing to him. I'm not sure why. I think Ben was innocent there. Looking at this from above, Ben's still taking blame for this. Turned in a little bit, but he couldn't have known that he would slide up the track like that. That's a very gracious gesture from Ben Laughter, but Ben, I think you have reason to feel a little bit upset there, probably.
Poor Andy Purr is still under attack, man. Danilo Piazza was really, really rough with him. They're getting through the last 2 turns.
Well, that side-by-side contact has at least allowed pairs to get some space. So despite being held up just a little bit by the Nissans coming through, he's doing okay. Loses some time around the outside of Williams as Nicholas goes through. This is very much splitting up both of our battles. Closest one up at the top in the Nissans is Ardo Ihamaki and Boslav. They're getting by our lead GTO as Michel de Jong has been having it all his own way. How about the fight for 14th? Because Marco Kika on the back of Clayton McLeod has closed in. And in fact, behind them, they've got a train starting to form with John Keefe, Tom Van Putt, and Dave Peterson in this.
Yeah, Dave doing a really good job here so far. He's really not advanced at all. He started 18th. It's right where he's at now. And the number 25 trying to hang on to this train of cars. He's got two fighting behind him, and Tomas Kozdrin and John Hill. But Dave's still working hard. He's starting to lose touch with these guys. Going to have to get on it.
Now, we had a bit of traffic. Andy Pears once again finding himself having nowhere to go. If we go about 40 seconds ago, Yit Tajan and Philip Blake, some side-by-side action. They almost made it 3 wide with Andy. We're going to see it coming up here into Redmond. That is the car of Pedro Ferreira going by. And then right here, where poor Yit gets checked up and he has nowhere to go. Philip Lake trying to do what he can to get in the midst of this, thinking maybe he's got an opportunity for a pick. But unfortunately, it gets away from him.
Yeah, and boy, still under assault. Andy Purr still having to deal with all kinds of traffic. Him and Ben Laughter not having a whole lot of fun now. Clayton McLeod getting around. Marco Kika getting through there. Trying to get through.
This is that train we were looking at earlier. Kiko loses a chunk of time on Clayton. Tom Van Putt sneaking through one, but he's going to be separated by pairs. Whoa, and he gets into the back of him. Just a light touch, but thankfully does not scoop him out of the way. Oh, and Tom Van Putt gets turned around.
Putt checks up to avoid hitting Laughter there, Joe.
It was Dave Peterson getting into him. Did not expect him to slow that much. Almost from my screen looked like a bit of netcode, though.
And really fortunate spin for Van Putt as he gets spun around, going back in the right direction.
That was a nice catch by Putt. He was just instantly caught it after a 360 and kept going. Dave Peterson still in a bit of action as he gets by Ben Laughter, which is going to check these guys up. Laughter almost gets side-checked by Van Putt, excuse me. Tomas Kozdrone trying to chase down Peterson as they head down the backstretch. Van Putt sneaks through on pairs.
Okay, this has not been a lot of fun for my GTO drivers, okay? I'm just here to tell you that.
It certainly doesn't seem like it.
No.
John Hill gets through, but he compromises Andy Perez. Here comes Ben Laughter, goes to defend. A little bit of a late move, but I wouldn't consider that was a block. That was just good defense. Caught it at the last second. Laughter's got to be kicking himself. He had his one chance. As we ride on, the Plains driver just looking for anything at this point and thought he had the chance. And he's getting on the radio saying he thinks it was a reactive block. I don't know, Sean. I think Pears was moving over.
Ooh. Wow. Ben broke really late there.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up. Let's watch it one more time.
All right.
Let's see. This is coming out of the hairpin here, Sean. Tell me your take on this.
Well, Joe.
You know, on second viewing, I'm kind of questioning it.
Yeah. It was very, very defensive.
It was split second. I think he knew that, yeah, we're going to watch on board from Laughter here. Yeah, that's a hard call. I don't think he intended it to be reactional. He just knew that he had a slow run and didn't realize that Ben was heading there at the same time already.
I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't think it was malicious. I really don't think so, but it's a hard call. Meanwhile, Keith Ritchie, we've switched up to him. He's still holding about 1.3 ahead of Tapani Linaluoto. They've got a long ways before they lap our 3 GTOs that are left over still out here. If you're just joining us, you're watching the iRacing Camel GT series. This is official iRacing racing. So all of the iRating and their safety rating is in effect out here, and they are fighting for that official championship.
Yeah, just about the GTO class, now seeing a few more cars come behind him. And now the leader, Michel Dujong, who's had a pretty quiet ride. We haven't talked to him a lot. Just let John Hill get by. That's right pretty close to the back of the GTP class.
Oh, Dano Piazza, he was very far up there. He was up to 5th, I believe. He slipped down to 8th. We're going to see on the replay. Oh, that turbo lag once again, Sean.
Okay, and that's where I let you go, is with the turbo lag. That's what I saw too, and boy, sitting right there in the middle of the track, and took him a while. Jamie Hall actually almost got him as he was trying to recover and get by. That was close for Hall.
I'm a bit jealous of the iRacing devs getting to talk to David Brabham about driving this car, the real-world driver who raced this thing.
Kopak with the same problem. Kopak just makes the same mistake. Same spot, Joe.
He was trying to get by Ben Laughter, put a lap on him. You're going to watch the replay. Here you see to the inside that red Momo machine of Kopak, the New Jersey driver, tries to lock him up in time, but unfortunately clatters that inside wall and gets some damage. But I was going to say, Sean, I'm jealous because I would love to get to sit down with David and talk to him, ask him about that turbo lag. How did he deal with it, especially in a car that just requires such commitment?
Boy, and talk about needing to be in tune with your race car. Obviously, I don't know, flying by the seat of his pants. I mean, literally, in that type of deal. Learning when to anticipate it.
Exactly. Like you said, just being one with the car. Meanwhile, we're watching this battle. 4-7, Pedro Ferreira holding off Danilo Piazza, who had just lost a number of positions, should have the pace to try and run him down. Yet Dejan and Philip Lake holding down the back of the train of these four.
Boy, and they've really spread out over this Okayama circuit today. I can't believe I just almost did that.
They're combining the two of them.
Yeah.
Yokohama tires there?
They have really spread out on this circuit today. I expected to maybe be a little bit closer, but man, the GTOs have really, all three of them have been on the defensive since this race. Since we got about 4 or 5 laps deep.
Indeed, we're switching a little bit farther back to Mykonos and Shaheen. Shaheen trying to hold off the Porsche of Nicholas. As they come down to the twistier section of the course, hard to make passes in here. Easy to lose time, though. This has been a close fight for a number of laps. Mykonos seems a little stuck here in this 12th spot. Jimmy Broadbent is starting to run these guys down, though.
Yeah.
Could make it a 3-car fight.
I just paid attention to that. Broadbent a little bit faster that last time around. He's still running 121s. That was a 122 for him last time. But Broadbent had a pretty solid race. And boy, Mykonos getting really racy there with Shaheen up in front. He almost collected him.
It was very fast mid-corner, whereas Shaheen seemed to be struggling there through Williams. Wonder if there's different downforce levels on these cars changing how they drive. He could close up down the backstretch. The way he struggles, we've seen other cars really use the draft to close in. Makes me wonder if Mykonos is running a little more wing.
Well, these are open setups on these cars, Joe, and no one's restricted to what they're, they're not running matching setups, so.
Oh no, Piazza's having more trouble. And almost the same spot. It's just between Redmond and Hobbs. Let's see as this Martini car comes through. Same thing.
Yeah, right in front of Tejan and Lake.
He's still sitting there, though. I'm not sure if he's waiting for a gap. It doesn't look like it. He's just stationary. Thankfully, on the roadside of iRacing, it's just local cautions. We won't have to have any sort of safety car for this. Meanwhile,
the battle between Boslav and Arto Yamaki being interrupted here by needing to get around Ben Laughter and Andy Purz. Laughter almost makes contact with Yamaki there, and Maki runs right up on Kurz. Purz. I said Kurz.
Close. Oh, wow, sticks it in late. Coming into Redmond. Makes it work, though. And in all of this, they've also had Michael Kopak that our leaders have dealt with. Tapani Linuluoto puts a lap on him. He did hold up our leader Keith Ritchie a little bit as they came through Hairpin and Revolver. Slob is going to have to tackle him next. Piazza did take a tow, by the way. He is now in the pits, so he has exited from the track. How about Philip Lake and Yit Tejan? That battle getting close for 8th position. Working their way through Williams. That's Yit just ahead in the darker machine. The lighter one of Philip Lake just behind him. We ride on board with Philip. Just a hint of a tire out on the dirt there. He's got to be careful with that, I would think, in the braking, Sean.
Yeah, he does need to be careful of. He needs to watch it here. Just not much time left. It'd be tough to lose all that work and just these last few laps. Tapani Linuluoto had a close moment getting by our leader in the GTO class, and now Michel De Jong is worried about Michael Kopak, who's right over his shoulder. De Jong runs it out a little wide there at the last corner. Now he's able to get the spot. Kopak goes by.
It's got to be frustrating for Kopak knowing that he's got to worry about being lapped and lapping these cars. Certainly not an easy task. De Jong has more coming through. That's Paulo M. Chagas, also a lap down, who's fighting for position with Kopak.
And it's a very damaged machine he has too, but hey, our leader Michel De Jong knows exactly what to do there. He got out of the way, let those two go on.
Mykonos.
Ouch.
Mykonos with a mistake out of the final corner with a hard hit. We're going to see it on the replay. On the AstroTurf and in the wall.
Too much of that turf. Yes, sir.
That was an immediate tow for Mykonos. He knew that his day was not going to continue. He has exited the sim. Poor Nicholas Mykonos had a good run, but he's going to finish well down the order of the GTP class. We watched from on board one more time there. Three minutes left to go as Keith Ritchie comes across the line. Philip Lake has had a problem. This is coming out of Revolver, who was trying to put a lap on Ben Laughter. And actually, he made contact with Laughter.
Yeah.
Let's see, does he dip it into the dirt? Yes, he does. I wonder if we could see on board from Laughter. That is... it's got to be scary with the car just coming across like that.
Yeah, and here's Ben still trying to keep himself in a battle with Andy Purz. We've been there with him all day, and then this happens. It's just been so tough for the GTOs. Those three cars that are left here on track. It's been an adventure today here at Okayama.
He's got to ask himself, how can I get a break? Probably not sure whether to laugh or cry. But Ben Laughter is still going to get a podium, with there only being 3 of our GTOs who have joined us today and stayed out on track. Only retirement in that class is Kiradine Boafia, who will finish 4th.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough for Laughter at this point to catch him. But now, Andy Purz got to be careful here, though, because this traffic is on the way, and it's angry. So there's Shaheen looking to the inside. He's going to get it done. Got to watch out for Philip Lake here, trying to get through.
That was actually Clayton McLeod, teammate of Shaheen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Easy to do that. And McLeod is actually trying to chase down Jimmy Broadbent, Philip Lake, and Murtul Shaheen just ahead of him. Shaheen was fighting quite a bit with Philip Lake. Or actually, excuse me, Philip Lake was with Yit Tejan. Remember, he had that mistake that we covered just a moment ago. Now, Lake trying to make up the time that he's lost. Very close on Shaheen down into turn 1, but he doesn't take a look. 45 seconds left on the clock. I think we're going to get one more lap from Keith Ritchie. Comes up around Hobbs, now through Mike Knight corner. And as he comes around the final corner, white flag is out for the Porsche of Keith Ritchie. Meanwhile, we had a pass or attempt from Philip Lake on Myrtle Shaheen down into the hairpin. Slid wide there and had to give it back. There's an aggressive bit of braking there, Sean, but didn't quite pay off.
Yeah, it's Philip Lake having a little bit of aggressive braking there. Just not enough, though. Boy, Shaheen doing a really good job of just keeping him. Whoa, close moment for Philip Lake there. The turbo lag kicked in.
He's got to be careful. Jamie Broadbent's going to get an opportunity with more mistakes. In fact, coming out of the final corner, can he close in on him? They're just about dead even on the acceleration. Broadbent takes a peek. He knows it's the final lap. He's seen the white flag out. Has to hang back. Not missing anything up front. I'll take us to the leader when he gets close to his finish as they come up to Atwood. Another good opportunity for Philip Lake to try and get past Myrtle Shaheen. Can he accelerate well out of Atwood? We've seen it trip a few people up as they climb up the hill. And we've got to go to our leader because Keith Ritchie, coming out of the final corner, is going to take the win here at Okayama. De Jong is just ahead of our battle here between Lake and Shaheen.
Yeah, just trying to finish a race here, and they're going to definitely get into this.
Oh, he's got no one to fight with, so he knows that he can back out, let these three through. Wisely so. Nicely done by Michel de Jong. And this battle, look at Jimmy Broadbent, almost gets into the side of Philip Lake. He's still got a nose in through Mike Knight. Hard to go side by side, bangs his doors a little bit, but takes the spot away. And I think he's going to be able to hold on to it across the line. Great late move, but the win in the GTOs is going to go to Michel de Jong. Or is it? He gets turned around and spins across the line.
He got it. He got it.
Wow.
Wow.
We're going to watch the replay as a car tumbles into him at the end. My goodness, that was Clayton McLeod and Marco Kika fighting for position. Didn't give each other room. I think Clayton was trying to get cute and trying to squeeze him over and pin him in. And poor Michel de Jong, it's a good thing he had as wide or as big of a gap as that. And then the car that piles in afterwards is Thomas Kosdron, who's trying to get by the line before Marco Kika.
I think de Jong is lucky that the car actually broke to the right when it started to spin there, Joe, rather than to the left. He might have got stuck into that wall out to the left if the car doesn't slide all the way off to the right like it did. Jeez.
We're going to watch onboard Broadbent with that late race pass. This is great stuff, Sean. This is aggressive but fair, if you ask me.
I'm with you. I didn't see anything wrong with it. The opening was there, man, and he took advantage of it. Doesn't really run him out too wide. It's just a good move, man.
Yeah, what I love is afterwards, just a little bit of a slip, and he has a little hello to the side and sneaks on through Philip Lake. But with that chaotic end, we're going to go to break here. We'll come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews. And on screen, we're going to have all the upcoming races here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Welcome back to Okayama. We just watched round 5 in the iRacing Kamel GT series. These 1989 sports cars certainly put on a good show here around the Japanese track. In the end, though, Keith Ritchie had a comfortable run, almost I would say a boring run, to the finish. Was never really hardly challenged by Tapani Lindualoto, who still kept him honest, at least we should say, with only a 2-second lead at the line. Boslav rounded out the podium, a good 11 seconds back from Keith. Ardo Ihamaki comes home in 4th with Nicholas Schneider in 5th. In 6th, it's Jamie Hall, who was at times fighting well with Pedro Ferreira. And Yit Tijan, we have 8th position. Murtul Shaheen coming home in 9th. Jimmy Broadbent, with only 1 corner to go, manages to sneak himself into the top 10. Philip Blake, unfortunately not the race we're used to seeing him have sometimes, finishing well down in 11th after a mistake sent him backwards. Clayton McLeod as well, finishing in 12th with a chaotic finish. Marco Kika just behind him, tumbling across the line in 13th. Tomas Kozdron finishes in 14th, and rounding out the top 15, Sean, it's going to be John Keefe.
All right, then we'll go back to 16th place, and that's Dave Peterson. John Hill going to finish 17th. Not used to seeing him there either. 18th, Tom Van Putt. 19th, Remy Lelaraine. And let's see there. And then 20th is going to be Michael Kopak. Go back to 21st. It'll be Paulo Chagas. Now your first place winner in the GTO class is going to be Michel De Jong today. Andy Purrs. Great fight between him and Ben Lafter for most of the race. He'll finish 2nd. Ben Lafter will finish 3rd. All right, and then you've got the Mucanos and Danilo Piazza there, 25th and 26th. And let's see, did I miss Ben Lafter? No, I'm sorry. Karadan Piaffi, he went out early, Joe. Doesn't finish. That's 27th overall. And Hideki Koivitso went out, was first car out. He'll finish 28th overall today.
And with that, we are going to talk to our winner in the GTOs. Let's get Michel de Jong in here. And Sean is going to ask him, hopefully, about that crazy finish, which I'm sure Michel was thankful for the lead that he had.
Michel, that was pretty crazy there at the end. It was a pretty clean race. Let's talk about the end there first, and then we'll go on to the race itself. What happened there from your seat?
To be honest, Sean, I really don't know. I was just driving across the finish, and all of a sudden I was spinning in the wall. Do you guys know what happened?
It looked like the two Nissans got together, and you were the innocent bystander. I had made the comment. I was real fortunate that your car started to slide off to the right and not to the left. If you'd gone off to the left, you might have got stuck in that wall.
Oh, well, good thing then. Did we make it? I didn't know if it was across the line yet or not. I really don't know what happened. I wasn't focusing on them at all. I was just focusing on trying to finish.
Yeah, you were just still short of a line. But let's talk about the race real quick. Boy, the traffic really tough today on this track.
Yeah, no kidding. As soon as I saw the entry list, I thought to myself, this is going to be a race of Nissan dodging mostly. And that actually went pretty well. The Nissan field was very good with traffic today. So congrats to them.
What was the key to victory for you? Was it the setup?
I'm not sure really. I just did some practice last night and today, and to be honest, this track is really just mediocre. I think if you ask someone to design the most mediocre track you can think of, this track as the result. It's boring, but I mean, I'll take a win anytime.
Well, a win indeed, and congratulations, Michel. Thanks for taking a moment to come in and talk with us. We will see you next week.
And where's that?
That will be at Watkins Glen next week.
Always good. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for the broadcast again. You guys are doing a great job.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Michel, my bad. Actually, Montreal. I'm getting my series mixed up. Next week we're in Montreal, so get ready for that.
All right, I'll see you guys then.
All right, we'll see you then. All right, Joe, that was Michel de Jong, and we thank him for coming on in. And let's see, who we're going to catch up with next here.
Let's switch over to the GTPs real quick. We got Boslav, who finished on the podium over there. And
There he is.
he certainly was having a good fight between himself and Ardo Iamaki with a great move on the start to get him into that third position. Boss, tell me about the start and that opportunistic slip to the podium.
I was watching real close when Keith was starting, so I wouldn't miss it. And I went right on the gas, and managed to stay ahead around turn 1. And then a little bit later, there was a big fight for a couple of corners as well to stay in front. And after that, I was just trying to stay ahead.
Now, we noticed that traffic felt pretty awkward between the two classes on this track. Did you find that they did a pretty good job considering the circumstances, the 4 GTO cars getting out of the way, or do you think that maybe they could have made things a little bit easier on you guys?
Well, the first time I passed the 2 GTOs that were fighting with each other, I'm not really sure the names, but I was able to pass the first one on the straight, but the second one I couldn't dive. It was too far away. But then I decided to go a bit wider and then cut back. But he kept it on the inside. So then I thought, okay, he wants me to pass outside on the next corner. But then he blocked me again. So that was a bit annoying.
I'm certain you would have wished for just a Nissan track by yourselves today. But still, with a nice podium, Montreal's going to be quite a bit different with the tight confines. Are you worried about trying to just simply make it through the race next week, or do you feel pretty comfortable heading up to Canada?
Well, you have to be a little bit more careful for sure, because on tracks like these, you can run a bit wide and take a bit of grass. It's not that big of a deal with these cars, so... but there you hit the wall, so then you're done.
Certainly. Well, thanks for coming and talk to us. Congrats on the podium. Look forward to you next week.
Yeah, thanks.
That was Boss Slob, third place finisher here in the GTP class at Okayama. One more driver that we're going to talk to. Unfortunately, we weren't able to convince Andy Paris to come and talk to us. I guess he needs a little more time to cool down. But Ben Laughter and Andy Paris had quite a bit of controversy out on track in their fight for second place. Sean is going to talk to Ben about their GTO battle.
Well, Ben, you guys battled for most all of that race, all 30 minutes at each other. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, bumper to bumper the whole time. And, I've raced Andy a bunch of times. He's a good guy. He's a good racer. I pride myself on being very difficult to pass. And I'm not the fastest guy, but I'm hard to get around. And, Andy's a good driver. Nothing's personal. Nothing's, I'm not going to say anything about him. I felt like that lap 11 move was an intentional block, but the discussion was split afterwards, and so I am willing to admit that I am wrong. That I might be wrong, we'll say that, and I'll just leave it open to the YouTubes and the iRacing community to let me know whether I'm right or wrong.
We kind of left it at that, also, Ben. It's that was a tough moment there in the race, but listen. You guys put on one heck of a show. Honestly, with a small GTO class, there wasn't much to watch. Unfortunately, there were just the three of you out there competing. When Michelle got so far away, that battle between you and Andy was really, really exciting. More exciting, though, and we don't. I don't know. It seems a little bit nicer in previous weeks, but today the multi-class driving was a little rough.
Yeah, lopsided. A lot of Nissans today, very tight track, heavy braking zones. Not my favorite track by a long stretch, by a very, very long stretch. But in the end, I think, the regulars did a great job today. A lot of the new guys did a wonderful job too. I really didn't have a whole lot of complaints with the Nissan field. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not mad at Andy. Had a great entire race-long battle with him. There was a lot of accordions back and forth. There was just that one incident that got me hot under the collar. But in the end, I hate Okayama and had a great time. So there must be something going on right in these camel cars.
Indeed. Hey, listen, thanks for taking a moment to come talk to us. We look forward to seeing you in Montreal, my friend.
I will be running Spa, so I'll see you the week after.
Ah, okay. Well, then we will see you. We will see you then. And thanks again.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
That was Ben Laughter, who finished in third today. And I do want to make a small correction. It sounds like Andy would have been willing to come and talk to us, but we understand he doesn't speak that great of English verbally. He's better with typing it out, so hence why he didn't really want to come in for an interview. And seeing someone up in our new connects, I'm not sure if that was Andy or not, but giving him just a second to see if we can clarify if this is Andy coming and giving us a shot. Giving this person just a moment to talk to them, but I thought that was an interesting comment there from Ben there, Sean, that he hates Okayama but loves this race. That's a great way to put it.
Well, it was fun. Again, they really had a great battle, and the magic of that battle was having to avoid the much faster Nissans for, like I said, most of the race, 2/3 of the race. They were having to play defense with the Nissans, and that made that battle even more exciting. And again, it was just really probably the best battle on track we saw all day. And of course, the end brought us the most excitement, I guess, there at the line. Certainly exciting for Michel De Jong. Poor guy, he obviously, we talked to the man, he didn't know what was going on.
Well, it looks like we won't get to talk to Andy, unfortunately, but yeah, that battle, I enjoyed it. To me, it was almost like watching a football game in the middle of a highway, the way they had to fight. But, of course, we want to thank the Kamel GT community for coming together and organizing with Rob Olenek to hire GSRC to broadcast these races. We've enjoyed them. And, of course, thanks to Andrew Backey for running the VCR Championship, their own private championship that they do in this series, separate from the iRacing official. I've been incorrectly attributing that to Rob Olenek. He corrected me, let me know that Andrew is the one that does all the work for that. So thanks to Andrew, who also put together our intro video today. Those continue to improve. I love the way that he is putting these together, making them look like period pieces from 1989. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast. You can see them listed on your screen. And additional thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Sean, Amjad, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel or Facebook at /GlobalSimRacingChannel. The next race we mentioned, it's going to be up at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. That'll be Saturday, July 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.